I am California of the past.
I
I
am
am California
California
of the
of the
past.
past.
I
I
am
am
California
California
of
of
the
the
past.
past.
Hello, my name is Don Hagerty, and I'm here today to share the story of the California artist Maynard Dixon. I was doing graduate work in archaeology in the Great Basin, and I started looking around trying to find who were the people who visualized the Great Basin at that time, painters, photographers. And I remember strolling into Gump's department store in San Francisco one time and seeing an exhibit of Dixon's work, and this was probably the middle 1970s, and I was hooked. I started out with a mission to know more about him. Then it became an obsession. So I've been doing this for roughly 35 years. And I've just been on the trail of Maynard Dixon ever since. He was active in the transition from the Old West to the New West. He was able to show us what life was like from 1893 when he had his first illustrations published. So much of his work has just registered in the consciousness of Americans. People instantly know they're seeing a Maynard Dixon painting. The art critic Alfred Frankenstein once stated that you could see a Maynard Dixon through a brick wall. And what he meant was that Dixon had developed a style so uniquely his, with color and space and design, that you could not mistake it for any other artist. By 1893, at age 18, he had his first illustrations published in the venerable Overland Monthly, founded by Bret Harte in 1868. And thereafter, his trajectory went straight up. He started doing many illustrations for Overland Monthly and also for the San Francisco newspapers, The Call, The Chronicle, The Examiner, among others. Not an issue would go by in any of these newspapers between 1895 and 1907, when he stopped newspaper illustration, that didn't have at least a dozen Maynard Dixon illustrations. In 1903, Maynard Dixon had published in Sunset Magazine, November 1903, probably his most famous iconic image as an illustrator. It was called Navajo Indian from Life, and it became an instant success. In fact, Sunset Magazine still publishes this poster. He had three themes that he pursued throughout his life. The first one was the Native American. The second was the majestic Western landscape. And the third was images in the Great Depression of people caught in an economic and social dislocation. One of the things that he had confronted starting in 1920 was he thought the Old West was disappearing. He had a tremendous love of the Old West, growing up in the San Joaquin Valley, remembering the remnants of the California Gold Rush. He saw a new West coming. It was the Model T, and he felt that Henry Ford and the Model T had stolen the Old West away. And he tried to find, in the 1920s and 1930s, a new theme, a new element in his work, that he would try to find the spirit of the West and not just merely document it with a pure optical experience. In 1938, Dixon decided to close his famous studio on Montgomery Street and move to Arizona. And one of the things that Dixon did was to donate 7 massive volumes of his illustration work to the California State Library. And the library has organized these into wonderful volumes for researchers to go through. And it's not only evidence of Dixon's skill, but it is a history of California and the West from 1893 until the 1920s, when he really stopped illustration work. Maynard Dixon did not have an epitaph of sorts, but there is one, I think, embedded in a poem he wrote in 1935 called The Years. And I think it serves as a self-assessment of his life. And this is just an abstract of the longer poem. I must hold myself up above petty disputes and distinctions, keeping some largeness of heart, alike for those who trust me and for those who distrust me, to share with them my long-held vision of beauty. Yes, that is enough. So unhurriedly I will pass peacefully, yes, content under the desert stars.
Time for me to go away. I'll get a new name, I'll get a new face. Time for me to go